This is the Heart to Heart with Statton podcast. Welcome back, everybody, to the Heart to Heart with Statton podcast. I am very excited for this episode, and I'm with three of my co-hosts, Tinfoil Hat Hergon. Say hi to the viewers.
Hello.
And my good friend Lil. And the mother of the Statton's Mansion Discord server, Lacey. Oh, and she's also a fitness coach and a travel agent. If I hope I got that last part right.
Yes, she did. Hello, hello.
I have no mother.
Now, with that said, we're going to start off on a subject that I've actually been wanting to talk about for quite some time. In fact, I kind of touched on it in my earlier Statton videos before I did the whole heart-to-heart thing. And we're today's subject is going to be Dungeons and Dragons.
Good thing you added that dragons thing, because I was ready to yell "Stranger Danger."
Moving on. Anyways, so the first thing I'd like to talk about is I get that not everybody knows what Dungeons and Dragons really is, even though they've heard of it. Huh?
I called them uncultured swines.
Anyways, so for any of you that have played online games such as Neverwinter or even the Elder Scrolls games, that Dungeons and Dragons...
No. Hold up. Elder Scrolls wouldn't be a good example of Dungeons and Dragons. If you want to go Dungeons and Dragons, that is Neverwinter. There's Pathfinder, which is close to it. Then there's Critical Role. Then there's Adventure Zone. Then there's a slew of other things. And Dice Goblins.
Baldur's Gate.
Well,
Baldur's Gate, yes.
Well, what I was getting at is it's a tabletop version of the games that people play that involve leveling up and everything. So if you've played games like that, even the original Final Fantasy game, it's tabletop-esque in a lot of ways because its attacks are turn-based and all that. That's the view I get from it.
Plus, remember, folks, if the session just happens to happen without somebody saying, "Well, actually, is a session lost?"
I don't get it.
I get it.
I don't get it. Explain it to me, please.
Well, you know that there's somebody always nerding out, and then, well, this is not how it happened. Well, actually, the history of elves is going back to the king, blah, 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 and he was there through the 1965.
Okay, he's talking about gatekeepers.
Oh, okay. So, the thing is it involves the whole leveling up, completing quest thing, but what makes it extra fun is the fact that there's role play mixed in with it. And until I watched my very first Critical Role video, didn't realize how far you could take the role playing thing. Some of the things that they did right off the bat, it's like, wait, you can do that? I didn't know you could do that.
You can do so much more than that.
And so you have to be able to understand there is game mechanics, not just dice rolls, but charts you have to keep up with and everything. And luckily, we've got people that are studying up on that, but more on that later. Lil, let's start out with you. What are your experiences with D&D?
Other than being an absolute flippin' nerd, and obsessed with Critical Role to like an healthy standpoint, not much. I do watch a lot of Critical Role. I watch A lot of I've watched a lot of D&D like content. I've played Neverwinter Nights, which is before Neverwinter Online. For those who don't know, um, I was younger. I've played a lot of Baldur Gate. I've done one session myself where I played as a tiefling bard. It was a one shot where we had to kill Santa Claus, and I think I remember seducing the gnome. It was great. And we killed
I,
Santa Claus.
So, so kids, if you don't get your present this year, you know who to blame now.
I don't
Hey,
know.
Santa Claus was corrupt and he was enslaving those gnomes, so like get over it. Um and I do know that there's little like fun aspects of like if you were playing were like in person where there's this thing if you were able to stack your dice in a tower, it is called lucky dice tower, and if you are happen able to do that, you will have a good game. And I was actually able to do it on my first try.
Did it work?
But yeah, it did. I was able to buff everyone's bullshit. Like I was the literally the apex of that game. I might not have killed Santa Claus myself, but I might as well have because I gave them the power to do it. So
Now, what about you, Hergon? What are your experiences?
Trust me, what I would actually tell you to what happened to me on my sessions, I think this is what would you say that there need to be some censorship because that's not PG rated. Sorry.
Give us the
He likes
4 kids
manticores.
version.
He likes the manticores like a lot.
Long story short, at one point I pissed off the wrong gnome at the tavern and I started mouthing off, and a swift kick later I started singing falsetto and they used my corpse as a battering ram to the next door.
Sounds great.
Lil's commentary makes this a lot more hilarious. What about you, Lacey? I know you say you haven't had a lot of experiences, but I'm interested in what you have to say.
Well, I have played Pathfinder, and it's been like 15 years. And back then, I would have to say that I did a lot of the Devil's Lettuce and probably don't remember a lot of the rules for even Pathfinder. But yeah, I know for a fact I was a dragon trainer when I played.
It's
That's
something that.
that's about it. That's all the experience I have with this kind of thing. So I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to learn because I am a nerd. Just I've never nerded out on D&D.
Well, you know what they say, they never forget your first time.
Yeah, I know I didn't.
Anyways, now the subject I would like us to move on to is bad experiences and what people really shouldn't do in games like this. I know there's a lot of YouTube channels out there that tell D&D horror stories of their bad experiences and everything, and unfortunately for me, I can now add myself to that list. So far, I don't know if it's always been this way, but if not, then I can honestly say D&D has really changed and not for the better. And I'm not talking about the game itself, but rather the players that play it. And from those that take it so seriously that they actually get mad at each other and get frustrated, and those that will even target other players, especially if they're DMs, which is pretty
Yeah,
sad because they're ruining the fun for any people that are trying to get in touch with the game for the first time.
yeah, like those people that tried to kill that actor that played Joffrey on King of Thrones. That kind of.
I've never seen Game of
He
Thrones, so I
probably
wouldn't
deserved
know.
it. He deserved it.
But so my question to let's start backwards this time. Let's start with the one who hasn't had a lot of experience yet. Lacey, have you had any experiences of any bad D&D play? Anything that results
She's
in
only played
drama?
Pathfinder, so that wouldn't really be a good question for her to ask. I mean, I guess what you should ask is what she believes would be bad experiences for any future gaming.
Very well.
You know what?
That she's heard, maybe.
Very well. Lacey, what Lil said.
Good question. Don't get mad if I don't have an answer because, like, I don't really have any bad experience.
Hey, I got one.
Okay.
Well, I've noticed this a couple of times. I mean, it rarely happens, but there are kind of people, and I heard about it. I'm not sure whether it's somebody from you guys that I heard about when we were talking that at some other occasion or somewhere else I was talking. Is basically when you have a character, and there's this kind of sweaty players that are trying to Larry or Mary sue their way through the entire campaign, just trying to sideline everybody else, doing the most damage, most stats, most, stealing the spotlight from the group. That's kind of a shitty thing to do.
I can agree with that. And to me, that's
You mean,
kind
like railroading people? Like
Pardon?
not letting them finish like that, like railroading people and things like that, or what?
No, it's basically that they're maxing out to this point that they're literally, when they're doing anything, the group has nothing else to do because they killed everything, they shot everything, they said everything. It's like, I gotta be number one. Ugh.
he's talking about main character syndrome.
Yeah.
I get that. I think that would be difficult if the DM allows that shit. And then on that point, it's the DM's fault for even allowing that, because as a DM, you should be able to control that aspect of it. Be like, oh, sorry, there's nothing to kill for you here. Oh, sorry, you just suddenly fell through a hole. Do a fucking athletics check.
Not to mention, I don't get why the player that would do that individually would think that's fun, because to me that's boring. It's the challenge that makes the game fun. I mean, it's as boring as people that use cheat codes or mod games.
Well,
About that.
come on, the last part,
About that.
dude. I mod my Skyrim, so frick off.
Yeah. You know what? Our next not D&D session, our next freaking podcast session is about modding. A heads
And-
up.
And
We're
why
talking
you shouldn't
about
do it.
No, and why it's. You know what, sir? Don't let me go hands right now, because I will.
Yeah, you'll have to have arms long enough to reach me from the state you're in.
Guess what? I got a cheat for that. Let's go.
Oh yeah, you modded your arms.
Yeah.
Anyways, but now, Lil, have you had any experiences?
Well, that D&D session that I did go through did have some awkwardness to it, but me being me, I powered through it anyway. The biggest problem that you're gonna have in any D&D group is people trying to gatekeep or take it more seriously than it should be. I mean, plain and simple, this is a game that you're playing with a group of friends. Do you honestly expect it to be this serious play that has an epic anthology that is going to go down in legend? No. I mean, especially since it's not being filmed, it's not being done inside of before an audience. It's just before you and your friends. So why treat it like it's some kind of epic fantasy? If you want it that way, then make the pre-rolls beforehand. But if you have friends who are known to be chaotic and will still continue being chaotic because that's just who they are, they shouldn't have to change who they are, then
Honestly, I believe actually they should. Well, technically you could and you could. You should and you shouldn't, because, for example, if somebody's trying to ruin the fun because it wants to skew the game in a very enforce certain things because they want.
There's always those people who are overly chaotic and they ruin it by farting in a serious talk session with their mother or something. Yeah, there's always going to be those people.
No, I mean like enthusiasts that like their lore. They're heavy on this. If it's like a classic, like full on, whatever the edition and we're strict adherence, then yeah. But if it's like a if it's like a homebrew session, then anything goes.
even if it's not a homebrew session, I mean, still have fun with it. Who said that every single campaign curated session is supposed to go the same exact way every time? The whole point of D&D is that the endless choices and paths that you have before you lead to different outcomes every single time, because the amount of people that you have and the amount of paths that you can take and the amount of endings you take. It's like one of those freaking games. Well, not Baldur's Gate. Baldur's Gate wouldn't really be. Well, no, it does qualify because you can have different alternate endings, or Dragon Age is one of those, or Mass Effect, or any one of those games where you can just choose your path and end up with a different outcome.
No, I meant like rules and lore, that kind of stuff, not the endings. The endings can go whatever way because otherwise it
Well,
would be
no, I'm
pointless.
just saying, like, I get what you're saying, but I'm just don't focus so much on that. That's, I mean, if you want a group that wants to focus on that, then pre-set that before you even start a game.
Yeah, what I meant
Um,
is like what I meant by it when I said "I'm sorry to get in your way" is basically when you have a
okay.
situation where for example, there's a rogue, right? In your group, and he's one of those people that, well, come on, do something for me, DM. I really can't do it. Come on, help me out here. And all of a sudden, his backstab is working front ways, so he's gonna charge everything instead of sneak because he set up his character in a way that instead of sneaking, he farts a lot when he's sneaking, and he sounds like a Dodge with a busted fender. So he helps me to
That's where
change
the
the
that's where
rules.
the rules come in. I feel
Yeah,
like
but
you know.
yeah, but what I meant is like gatekeep, so people don't bend the rules, so they serve only one person because they're whiny. That's what I meant.
No, I get it, but
Now,
that's
So
I feel
that
like that's where the DM would stop that shit. Be like, sorry, that doesn't apply.
right. So it a lot of the, and I know it's easier said than done because a DM has one difficulty, and I say this as though I've been one, which I haven't. So I don't mean to talk like I've experienced it, but at the same time, you can't help but notice that there is a lot of pressure on the DM to not only have a good game and a good story, but you also want to try to keep everybody happy at the same time. So the hardest thing for a DM to do is to simply say no or yeah, I'm sorry, but especially when it comes to if a player loses their character, if a character dies, it's not like a video game where the character can just respawn. No, they have to create a new one from scratch, which sucks for any player, but at the same time, it does give more of the pressure for the character to try to keep their or for the
so
player to keep their
basically,
The amount of
character alive.
the amount of times I've seen Critical Role almost lose their characters, the pure panic from that. Oh Jesus.
Yes.
well, the DM can always go with the full Vader as like the deal has been altered. Prey doesn't alter further.
Well,
Yeah, but like
that's no fun, though.
it's
Why not? It's
I
actually
actually I like the consequence aspect of it,
So do
because
I.
like and you care more about what happens. You're not just gonna go, oh, I'm gonna throw myself at anything. There's actually shit. Like, should we go after it? I mean, the last time we didn't do so well. Like, are we really sure that we should go after this? Maybe we should go back and get some more lore and get some more allies. Then go after it. Or maybe we should level up one more time. Like there's always like this retracting ability to like make sure that you're actually win a situation. And then sometimes you're like, you know what? It is what it is. Let's see what happens. And then somehow it weirdly works out, and you're like, whoa! And it's 10 times better if you actually survive.
honestly, it's mostly because well, if you ignore the consequences, basically you end up not in an RPG game with just with a shooting gallery.
Now,
Very true.
now when it comes to my experience, unfortunately, I've got to the point where not only D&D but role play altogether almost was killed because I've had a lot of bad experiences over the years. There, like when I first got into role play, and this is even before D&D, before I got into D&D, you had to be extra careful with the groups I was in because one tiny thing they didn't like, and suddenly they would lose their crap. And I don't, and it was over some of the dumbest things imaginable. Like you either say the wrong thing, suddenly they get super offended, and suddenly they treat you like crap for and RP every chance you get, and then they fall back on the trope. It's what my character would do. Yeah, guess what? Character development does in fact exist. Even if you write up a character sheet with character history, you can use events in current gameplay that can help reshape your character, not to the extreme. I think perfect character development is one that happens slowly but still at the pace where it's noticeable. And maybe I'm wrong on that. But
Honestly,
huh?
well, I
Not
was
wrong.
no, and plus, there's always the same thing. Like it's my one of my character would have done. One, you're playing that character, so you are that character. So you gotta either act it out or but don't bullshit this way. Because if you're saying, "What's what my character would have done," is the same thing. Is the same kind of people. It's because I'm a Libra or a Capricorn or whatever.
Well, I mean, that's close. I feel like it's more like, oh, it's not me who killed that person. It's the gun. Sorry, you still pulled the trigger, bitch.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Then that carried on over to the D&D games where okay, I want to play a more I wanted to play a more laid back character because, for one thing, too many character players in the group were playing these super serious guys. I'm like, okay, well, game mechanic wise, and maybe for the story, it's good, but eventually, when it comes to all the dialogue we're spouting, it's gonna get boring really quick for me. So I thought, why not just be the laid back guy? I mean, the best way to describe what my character would be like that guard from Final Fantasy IX, where he follows you around. You think he's gonna be trouble, like he's gonna be more of a hindrance than anything.
You're talking about the big guy?
Yeah, but in the end,
Yeah, I like him.
but in the end, when the combat happens, he falls through. He goes. He aids you. He helps you, and that's what I wanted my character to be like. And but it's like, but nope, that was an unforgivable sin. And for some reason, some of the people in the group actually flat out ignored me. Like they'll say hi to each other in chat, but when I say hi and stuff, no response. And the DM, apparently she wanted to play a character and DM at the same time, so she she for some reason sent me a private message saying, "Hey, I want this character to be a love interest for your character." So I said, "Okay, I don't see a problem with that." Well, then about a couple of sessions later, suddenly one of the characters that ignored me for the longest time suddenly starts tearing me a new one out of the blue verbally, and I'm trying to spend half the time figuring out what the heck's happening, and it turns out that the character that the DM made was making false R word accusation. I'm just gonna say false rape accusations against my character, which to me that's such a very
Sorry.
gross thing to do in game.
I'm sorry.
It's not funny because that really triggered me. I mean, and I don't like using the word trigger. So when something actually does have that effect on me, you know it's bad then, because I do think that's a word that's off thrown around an awful
No,
lot.
it's not. It's not that, Statton. That's not why I'm laughing.
What
Because from what you just said, I think you're the only character I've ever heard in Dungeons and Dragons that got me too.
that got
Oh.
oh well. Anyways, but anyway, so I got mad. And but here's the irritating part. The girl that tore me a new one, when I proved my innocence, instead of getting mad at the one that falsely accused me, she just had this, "Oh well, not my circus, not my monkeys." And I'm just left thinking, where was that attitude when I was being accused? Oh, it's not your business, so you're gonna stay out of it. But with me, you have no problem biting my head off for something I didn't even do. And then they tried. Then the DM and her husband tried to railroad my character by intentionally putting me in situations where I get arrested and thrown into prison because they wanted me to play a villain and be something I wasn't. And it just got to the point where when I tried to tell them I didn't like it, suddenly They both got mad at me, and the DM forced me to apologize to her husband because apparently I was being ungrateful. And so after that, the whole campaign just fell apart and got discontinued, and they wanted to try again, and they're like, hey, how about you give us another chance? And being the idiot I am at times, I was like, fine, I'll give you one more chance. And well, it got so bad, I could not speak without people in the game telling me to shut up. And then when so I would show up in the game, but I would remain silent, only to have people tell me out of character. We hate how you're playing your character now. He's too quiet. And I'm like, is it really that big of a mystery? Do you have? I mean, you guys are beating me down every time I open my mouth. What do you expect? And I'm trying to change my character to make everybody happy, but nothing I do is working. And it just got to the point where I left, and I guess they're
I really
happy.
wish I was a part of, like, I remember when you were part of this D&D group, because I remember you talking about it. I really wish I would have just, like, jumped in on a session and be like, you know what? I'll tell you fucking chaos. Let's go.
And I don't know. And I will admit, a part of me felt like I was probably being childish. Like
Nope.
I believe that maybe, just maybe, I overreacted because it's a. But here's the thing: the reason the accusation itself triggers me is because there are guys in real life that have gone to prison for 2 years for being falsely accused of raping women, and when their innocence is proven, okay, well, guess what? They're like, well, it's let out of prison now, so it's all good. No, it isn't, because that's 2 years of their life that they'll never get back. And it's like women think that this is some stupid game that they can just pull on guys, and it's perfectly acceptable. And it's gotten to the point where they're now bringing it into D&D games. That's, if you think that's okay, then you got to be a sick person. I'm sorry. I do that is just messed up. And
Well,
then what do you know? That But of course, I when I tried to tell said DMs this, I'm selfish, I'm ungrateful, and these are people I've actually helped in real life too, where if they needed gas money, I was more than happy to give it to them, but because I didn't want to be a verbal punching bag, I was selfish and
repeat
ungrateful.
after Statton. Repeat after me. Gaslighting.
I know.
Gaslighting.
And
Yeah.
so I'm just saying, if you are DMing a game and you're listening to this live stream right now, if there's anything you shouldn't do, everything I listed off, these are a bunch of don't do's. I feel like that should be a common sense thing to where it shouldn't have to be explained. But the fact that I'm telling the story now is enough to say that there are some people that just aren't smart enough to understand that that's not what you do without it being explained to them.
Well, I think this breaches, not to try to go off topic too much, but I think this breaches just, it's such a wide scale, honestly.
It's it's basically people.
You
What's
can't escape this kind of behavior from anyone, from any platform, from any group activity, from just anything. Like, you can shout until the rooftops, until your face is blue, that people should always treat other people fairly, but you just are not going to get that. Now, I'm not saying that you should give up. I'm saying you should always strive to, make sure people listen, but people are going to do what they want to do, whether you like it or not. The best
Well,
thing that you can do is protect yourself and set those boundaries and go out and find those people who will support you and will, allow you to be yourself. Now, if
I
there's
think
people out
I
there who
already
are going
did
to
that
have
when I
to,
left.
you did, and I'm not saying you did wrong, and I'm not saying you're not valid. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying, whoever's listening to this or not, they're only going to hear what they want to hear.
Even so, if
Now
they
there's so,
the fact that if it bothers them on some level, then they know they're guilty for it. What they choose to do with this information is up to them, but I'm giving the information regardless if it's well received or
no,
not.
and that's fine. I'm just saying that.
Oh, by the way, we're past the halfway point. So the live stream is now open for any of you viewers that want to hop into the VC one at a time and put in your 2 cents worth. All you gotta do is go to the link to Statton's mansion in the description, and from there you can join the VC.
And I was about to tell you that maybe we should actually just maybe it would be prudent to say just to not bring out your personal real life experience into the campaign. That's it. Let it be strictly fictitious. That's it.
Well, I don't know if that's what they were doing when they did what they did. I'm just saying but I personally think my take is, and if they are listening, I'm pretty sure they'll be more than happy to disagree. But I'm guessing that in their own minds, they're just not happy or not having fun unless they've got a character that they feel can target. And Lil can testify. I do sometimes come off as an easy target.
No.
But I have also been working on it and standing up for myself more and saying, yeah, I'm not dealing with this crap. No.
For you.
I've got to the point where if people try treating me differently or makes me feel like I'm outside the group, fine, I'll walk away and I'll do it without looking back because quite frankly, I did nothing to you, so if you're going to treat me like that, then the heck with you. I can honestly say I've been a better friend to these people than they have been to me. But now, with that said, we have some big news for all of you. And
Okay,
before.
so hold up. Before we go into that,
Yes.
I will say this because I feel like just ending it right there is kind of leaving things like putting a bad taste in the mouth kind of thing.
Well, it is, but that's why
Hold on. So let me try to leave it in a good direction, in a good uplifting way, the way I do things. So yes, all of those things you said were valid. All of those things you said have merit. But I think what we should all remember here, if we encounter such a situation, the best things that you can do is communicate how you feel about it, regardless if it's going to be heard or not. Set those boundaries if it's not going to be heard. And don't waste your time stressing out over what somebody thinks of you or how they treated you, because if they're not going to listen to like the first two things that you did, then they're not worth your time. And just move on. You may not ever get closure for those things, and sometimes that's just life. We're not going to get closure for everything that was wrong and done to us. We are valid in how we feel, and we should definitely go through those emotions the way however it takes us to heal for that. But know that this is just, I think the three things that I always keep in my mind is that be true to you. This too shall pass. And just because you're in a dark place now doesn't mean you're not going to be shot into a better place later. So, if you are in a situation that Stat has, described, know that this is not something that you have to deal with, and that you can set those boundaries and you can get out of there and find a better group that will accommodate you and appreciate you and, give you the environment that you want. Does that sound better?
Well, yes, and I didn't mean to make it sound like all groups are like this.
I'm not,
That's why
no,
I
I'm
was.
not, I'm not, I'm not. I'm just saying I wanted to leave it at the uplifting end to what you said, so that when you go on to the next subject of what you're announcing, then it will go into a better direction.
Now, before I get into it, I just realized something. I've been kind of unfair here. Lacey, you've been awfully quiet. I haven't given you much chance to speak in this session. So, is there anything you would like to add?
No, I enjoy listening to you guys.
Okay, well, understood. Well, if there's ever anything you want to say, feel free to say it. I mean, don't feel like I don't want you to feel restricted or anything.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not restricted. Honestly, I've been driving. I am podcasting and door dashing at the same time.
Wow, multitasking.
Absolutely. That's how I do.
Okay, now with that said, the big news is we have decided to create our own D&D group in the Discord server, Statton's Mansion, where we are actually going to be well, as far as the gameplay and mechanics go, we are probably going to be sticklers for the rules, but as far as RP goes, we're going to be more laid back. We're going to be more relaxed, not serious, not angry, not drama. As I've stated before, if all other D&D games are Star Wars, we are going to be Spaceballs. That's right, people. We're going to have comedy,
Security,
lightheartedness. What?
security officers. He said balls. You said balls.
Oh, her gone. You're going to want to buckle up for the trip we have for you.
Oh, I actually asked the question to Lil, but I'm gonna ask here since what else is not cool with this session, right? Was thinking about the aside everything else, people trying to live rent free and the stuff you mentioned, but also gaming etiquette during a table if you're doing a real life session. If you're face to face gaming, for example, if you're lactose intolerant, you're indulged into too much cheesecake, you're about to let one rip in the room.
Well,
Wait, I'm confused. What are you asking?
Yeah,
Pardon?
What were you asking?
Well, the gaming etiquette, if it goes, if you're doing one on, in personal D&D, what is not cool aside, somebody chewing too hard or.
Well, the chewing part doesn't bother me or anything because I get it. I mean, I know there are some people that it bothers, but you know, if you need to eat, eat. I mean, not everybody has the same mealtime schedule, and if it's like on Discord, if you have to say like the other thing you mentioned, like if someone is kind of gassy and has to break wind, well, you have one advantage. You can temporarily mute the mic until it's done. And if you're actually gaming in person, if you have to get up and run to the bathroom for a little bit, go ahead. It's understandable, or it should be understandable, I should say. I've died more times playing this game
I'm
right now.
still
It's
so
so
confused as
embarrassing.
to
He's asking when it comes to like bodily noises and everything, when people have to listen to other people in the group do it in real life, where do you draw the line and what's the proper etiquette for it? That's what he's trying to ask.
I would think that if you're going to be in a group setting, that proper, I don't know, like I feel like your own embarrassment would prevent you from trying to be so rude. But I mean,
Unless you're
if
a
you are
neckbeard.
okay, whatever. Anyway, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I feel like if you allow that kind of person into your group, then it should be expected. If they start doing it in your group, I would think that whoever is offended by it would be like, "Hey, this is not entirely like the proper place and time for this." And if it became a problem, then it's something that should be discussed as a group and whether or not it should continue. So, I mean, just as it would in any group session.
I never thought we would have that issue to begin with, but I guess anything's possible.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I know how to tune things out, but so I wouldn't really care if it happened or not. I would just continue on going.
But the point is we want this D&D session to be different in the sense that we want it to be free of drama. We want people to just be able to be friendly, have fun with each other, relax, enjoy it for what it is. Don't be sticklers for accuracy in terms of story or lore, and recognize it for what it is, a game. And a game is supposed to be an escape from real life, and if you are bringing stress into a game, you're defeating the purpose of that game even existing then, because there's no escape. Apparently you're stressed in real life, suddenly you're stressed in the game. What's the point of even gaming then?
Why don't you talk about some of the more exciting features that's happening, like everything that we know so far, or what we're planning?
Well, I don't want people to know about my character yet, but if you
That's
have
not what
it,
I'm talking about,
go ahead. I'll let you have the honor then.
buddy.
What?
You know what? You're literally just soapboxing right now about what not to do. You're not even talking about the fun. Okay.
Okay. Well, maybe I'm blanking out. Help me out here.
Okay.
Well,
So who's gonna?
go
How many
on.
characters do we have so far?
Oh
How many
yes,
people are playing?
we've got
You know,
6.
when is it gonna happen?
Oh yes, 6
Stop, I swear to
characters
God.
so far, and it's gonna happen on the 9th, which is
Supposedly.
a Saturday, 9th of March. Um,
Supposedly.
hopefully, if I work that day, it will be in the evening, and hopefully that'll work for everybody.
Okay, the 9th is a temporary situation right now. We don't know for sure what's happening on the 9th. It's just a goal. Okay, it's a goal.
A goal. Okay.
Goal.
But anyways, we
Well,
were
if we do it on the 9th, it's my birthday.
Happy
Hap-
birthday.
happy
to
early
you.
birthday. Do you think we should put that in her character thing for the?
No.
By the way, Statton, have I heard? I'm not sure if it's true, but I heard rumors that your character is going to be the first one that is going to yell Miller time.
Wait, what?
That's
Oh.
something that we'll talk about later. Later. Hey, Hergon.
Yes.
Later. Forgive him, people. He's from Poland. Anyways. I,
Oh, Jesus.
that's like my answer to everything anymore.
Seriously, I'm going to shoot pierogies at you from a slingshot if you keep doing this.
Now what?
Well, anyway, so the thing is oh, the biggest news is our DM is going to be Lil herself. Stand up and take a bow, Lil.
Oh. Roll initiative.
And the fact of the matter is, it'll also be this will be recorded for YouTube. This is going to be a series. No, I don't believe we're going to be as good as Critical Role. They pretty much kicked off this whole thing. They've made it great, but we are going to have fun with it. We're going to enjoy it, and we hope we can make it entertaining for all of you. We hope, and if any of you have any desire to join in any future campaigns, all you got to do is join my server. And then fill out the application or whatever Lil wants us to do. and
the amount of hours I spent in planning this whole thing is insane. It's I think I'm slowly going insane. Not only that, I'm drawing characters on top of which. So,
and
yeah.
it's gonna be voice chat. It's gonna be here on Discord. And I think it's even some of us, not all of us, but some of us are even going to be willing to video chat. And who knows, I may reveal what I look like. A Statton face
Honestly, if
reveal.
you follow all of Stat's YouTube videos, you already know what he looks like.
I have not yet revealed what I look like on this channel yet.
Yes, you have. Not on this channel, but but if they follow your other channels, they know what you look like.
That's a big if. Do they even know about my other channels?
He's got 2 others, just FYI.
Yeah, one of them's an ASMR one.
Oh, God, don't even get started. Any ASMR crap that's being played in my Dungeons and Dragons, you're gonna get snakes bitten at your ass every single time. I don't give a shit. Random snake, stealth check. Let's go.
I roll a 20.
No! Looks like that 20s is what was required.
Yeah, so for all of you that are wondering, my third channel this is my second channel actually. My third channel is Doctor ASMR, and my first channel is Elder Smith. I guess since you're gonna probably see my face in the D&D sessions, you might as well just go ahead and see my face right now.
Elder Smith is playing and drunk.
Shh, that was a secret.
It's no, it wasn't. It's not a secret. It's a part of your character. I don't know why he's playing a drunk. We just know he's playing a drunk.
Ooh, we got a comment here. It's from Beauty Gamer. I don't think it's
He's also going to be a player.
Yes. I don't think it's necessary to be a stickler for the rules. I think it's down to DM's discretion. If there's a logical reason or it fits, I don't see why the rules can't be bent a little. Yes, I can agree with that. What are your thoughts, Lil?
I was pretty much saying that already.
Hey, Lil, mind if I add you a small idea for your campaign against Statton?
Oh, Jesus, what? If this is going to be like a free-for-all against each other, trust me, I'll create an NPC just specifically to go against all of you.
Okay, add a skill to the guards. Roll for sobriety test against Statton.
He's not a guard. Doesn't work.
No, but the guards he encountered will require a sobriety test from him.
So, what gave you the free-for-all idea, Lil?
What do you mean?
You said if it's going to be a free-for-all, I can just stick a NPC on all of you then?
You can't create NPCs, only I can. You can't just randomly come up with NPCs. I'll be like,
I was just
I'll be like, oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Statton's kind of hallucinating for whatever reason. There's no NPC there.
I was just repeating what you said a moment ago.
Oh yeah. I will make up a horde or something like that if you guys just start attacking each other. I won't really do that, honestly. I'll just tell you all to shut up and let's get on with the story.
Right. So anyways, I think it's gonna be a blast. I think I'm excited about it. Lil's excited about it, and I would like to thank a couple of people here. Hergon, thank you for sparking the idea up. Lil, thank you for taking on the role of DM and working your butt off to get everything set up. This is gonna be truly an amazing experience, I believe, and both of you have revived my love for D&D again.
That'll be 350. That'll be 350.
350.
350.
It require a lot more than 350.
Now that we're in the last 7 minutes of the podcast, it's time that we throw in the advertisements here. Lacey, this is your opportunity to throw in any advertisements you want to throw in before I say anything else.
Wait, are you talking to me?
Yes, I am. Is there anything you want to advertise before we continue?
Oh, well, I have this 4-week challenge starting. I have a 4-week challenge starting in 1 week. Well, tomorrow. It'll be 1 week from tomorrow, so on March 10th. And what this challenge will consist of is a little bit of exercise and some mindset coaching and some nutrition coaching along with it. The main focus is going to be nutrition, and the reason why is because it's very important that you take care of your body because you only have one vessel, and so you have to treat it like you only have one vessel. So you definitely want to take care of it.
Awesome.
And this challenge is free for anybody that wants to join. If anybody wants to follow me on Facebook, and I can add you into my group, it is Dragonspire Fitness LLC on Facebook.
Okay. Awesome. And I'll leave a link to that in the description of the video after the podcast. And oh wait, is that okay with you if I do that, Lacey?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Now, with that said, Lil, is there anything you want to throw in
Nope,
advertisement
that's
wise?
pretty much good.
Okay, then this is brought to you by Statton's Mansion. I leave a link to it in the description of all my videos. If you want to meet any of us, talk with any of us, meet even the people that I created for my Sims series, they're all in my mansion, where it's a place where you can have a home online away from everything else temporarily. Just throw your head back, laugh, enjoy yourself, and enjoy the company. Also, I linked excuse me, I put a link to my Venmo account for optional donations. Donations are not required, but they are appreciated, and they help us so that we may speak openly on YouTube without restrictions. Anyways, so with that said, Hergon, say goodbye to the viewers. Hergon. Hergon!
God, I said bye bye.
Oh, I couldn't hear you.
We didn't hear you.
Lil, say goodbye to the viewers.
No.
Lacey, say goodbye to the viewers.
Goodbye.
Tell them you love them.
I
Why
love
does it say goodbye?
You gotta say it more cutesy.
Oh, I love you so much.
That was perfect. Anyway.
Hey, wait, Lacey, if you play, can you do that accent throughout the gameplay?
Absolutely, I can.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be rad.
Yes. So we look forward to having you all with us. Not just the players, but the viewers as well. Anyways, that's the podcast for today. My name is Statton. Like, share, subscribe, and you all have yourselves a wonderful day. And remember, you are not alone.